Okay, fam, welcome back. So today we're going to be going over the grayscale trusts as well as some dividend distributions and the bitty Bitcoin. So with that being said, let's get it. All right, so these altcoins that we have, not all of these that are on here do we actually have. We do not have Bitcoin, just so y'all know. I'm trying to think of what else we have. Yeah, we do have all of the rest of these except we don't have Bitcoin. But yeah, they're pretty much almost all in profit at this point. Are we going to take profit? Not yet. Again, I do want to reiterate that the alt season really hasn't even begun yet. So in my opinion, and again, we'll cover the alts in a separate video, but in my opinion, there is still time to get into some of these alts on the cheap. Even though some of them have moved, there may still be deals in the market, but we've been telling you guys this for months, okay? As Bitcoin dominance is going up, that's when people should consider positioning. Again, not financial advice, but we literally have told you guys for months, the best time to get into alts or anything in crypto, as of recently, was in this area right here on Bitcoin. Okay. And obviously, since then, we have just rocketed to the moon. But this isn't really even it. Like, look, Bitcoin season is still in effect, and altcoins haven't really even started ripping yet. When we start seeing stupid face melting gains like 50, 100, 200, 300% in a day or 1,000% in a week, and everybody and their brother that you haven't heard from in 10, 15 years is calling you up like, hey man, should I buy this crypto? If you guys see something like that and, the search terms are showing like we're at 100 for the Google search terms and the App Store is showing like the top 10 spots, 5 of those are in crypto related exchanges like Cash App and whatnot, then it might be time to be terrified. I don't think it's time to be terrified yet, but these altcoins really, even though they moved up a little bit, they haven't really started blasting off yet. Okay, so there's the alts and the Bitcoin. Meme stocks still going to the moon. Well, not really, but I mean, they are starting to move up. And the Bitcoin miners had a nice little green day. I think, again, we'll cover the miners in a separate video, but Iran this thing just exploded. But look, like I told you guys about the miners before, it's pretty simple, okay? The last major quarter that these miners had earnings, Bitcoin was at like 50,000. Okay. The price of Bitcoin needs to be at a certain level for these miners to be profitable. In my opinion, when we see Q4 earnings like we're going to see with CLSK, the prices are probably going to rocket because, again, these miners will be profitable because once Bitcoin goes up to a certain extent, the miners then become in profit, right? That's kind of how this works. So yeah, big green day for the miners. We're also going to cover some dividend distributions here as well as the trusts. So nice green day on the trusts as well. We still have the same positions we had before. Nothing's changed. What I will say here is that although LTCN does still look quite ugly on the daily, it looks a lot different on the weekly. It looks a lot different on the daily, right? The candles don't look as disgusting. You have kind of a perfect mix here of green and red. Look, I'll just tell you guys, like I told you before, simply put, this is just nothing more than a pullback in time. Eventually it will break out. That's what I suspect anyways. We saw something similar here and something similar here, and every single time it did break out to the upside. The SPX is also notorious for doing something like this, having a dump and then a kind of a chop upwards and then a rip. Even though this is a bearish pattern, the SPX is notorious for faking people out doing that, making them think it's like a bear flag and then like, oh, no, just kidding. We're going to go up instead. Yeah, it does that. Okay, so buy zones here is still the same, 13 to 1750. Targets up here, 25 to about 54. About 310% gain on this one. BCHG, it does still look kind of ugly on the weekly, but again, it's all about perspective here. A lot of red on BCHG, but we have finally had some green, retesting this trend line here as a flip zone. You guys know how that works. So in my opinion, the targets to buy here is going to be roughly about 570 to 750 and 1050 to about 24 for the targets. Now, in terms of look, I know it hasn't gone up literally the second that we talk about it. Some people are very short-term minded. They're not willing to wait. When we had our SoundHound position, we had to wait for about 6 to 8 months before we actually made any gains. So We could have bought more at the bottom, sure. But regardless of whether we bought it at the bottom or not, it sat there for a while, and then eventually you get the catalyst, and then it moonshots, right? That's kind of how this works. 290% gain. I'm actually going to go back in time here and show you guys this so you can see for yourself. So I can't remember exactly where we bought this at. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was somewhere in here. Yeah, so we bought in here somewhere, but again, you guys can see if I measure this basically during the entire accumulation period here. Again, accumulation typically happens at the bottom of a move. If it goes sideways at the top of a move, it's the opposite. It's distribution. Okay, if it's at the top of a move, it looks expensive, it looks overextended, it's going sideways. That means the sell-off might be coming. So 231 days here. In again, we had to wait a long time for this to go up. Okay, we didn't buy more on the dip, but our average was like, I think 4 something. Okay, so this entire time it was down here. We were underwater, but eventually it did go up. Eventually we did make profit. We just had to be patient. This is something you will learn in time. This is not an easy thing to acquire. The patience to sit through a drawdown, it's a real pain in the you know what. I'm not gonna lie. It even tests my patience. Believe it or not, I do not have infinite patience. Okay, so support here on HZEN 350 to 4.25. It is looking a little bit more bullish. I like this candle. This is a hammer candle. That's a very bullish candle, just so y'all know. So 690 to 1050 here at the targets. Maximum move here, about 200% gain. ETCG, this big fat green candle is very bullish looking. I mean, this is what it usually looks like at the start of a parabolic move. If you guys start seeing this on any of the trusts, then you would know that, well, basically this thing's probably getting ready to moonshot, right? Okay, so this one here, we do have a confirmation close bullish retest above on the daily on that white line, but not yet on the weekly. So I'm still going to say 1050 to 13 would be the buy area here. Targets would be anywhere between 1550 to 20.25. 90% move here. ETH. So same thing, close on the daily above this, as of right now on the weekly time frame, resistance on the daily is support. But you guys know we operate based on the weekly, so 23.5 here to 28 for the buy zone. Target's going to be that cup and handle target, $53. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Joey Swole. I think it's hilarious when he'll get footage of these people at the gym and they'll do some stupid stuff, and then Joey Swole comes out and is like, "Oh, you need to do better. Mind your own business." 130%, right? Yeah, that would be my message to pretty much all of people in society. Like, bro, if ain't nobody trying to screw with you, if nobody's trying to F with you, just leave them alone. You know what I mean? Don't go trying to start problems where there's no problems. It's really that simple. Because you don't know these people and what they can do. You don't know what they may or may not try to do to you. So if ain't nobody screwing with you, bro, just chill. Leave them alone. Go about your business. You know what I mean? Everybody's got their own lives to attend to. So buy zone here on GBAT, 450 to 520 at support. Not yet above the EMAs, although the indicators down here do look very bullish. Targets, $8 to 32. Again, there is a lot of upside here. I mean, if you guys already have your bags down here and you're like, well, I don't really care. I got my bags. I'm just going to go buy something else while this does nothing. And when it rips, I'll take profit, right? We've been there. Totally understand. All right, so 590% gain. Phil G, file corn, whatever you want to call it. Nice little double bottom W pattern here. Target for the W pattern is the top of this candle here. This is a disgusting candle. I don't even know how this happened. Yeah, this is pretty weird. I don't think I've ever seen this before. So it was trudging down below the EMAs, and then it had like this massive explosion, and then it just sold straight back down. I mean, if that's not a pump and dump, I don't know what is. So yeah, anyways, the buy zones here is still between 35 to 42. We got to get above the EMAs. That is the first indicator that a bull trend is going to kick off. $400 at the highs up there. So this is a pretty big move, about 1,000% gain. GLIV, I love Joey Swole, by the way. Just so y'all know, I do go to the gym regularly, and I am pretty strong. A lot of the guys that work out around me, they do steroids and drugs and stuff. I'm not knocking it. Do what you do. Just don't judge me. You know what I mean? But I don't do drugs. I'm 100% natty. And yeah, I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do none of that. So, but I just think it's kind of ironic how people that do drugs think they're above everybody else and, oh, I'm better than you. And, you know, they see somebody that's not doing drugs, or at least maybe they have it in their minds that that person's got to be doing drugs. There's no way that person's that strong. And, um, you know, they're not doing some kind of steroids or trend or something like that. I got a news flash for y'all, and we'll talk about the fitness industry later. There's a lot of guys out there that are really effing strong. I mean, ridiculously so, that do not do drugs at all. Okay. I don't know if you guys have seen a lot of these calisthenics. If you guys don't know what calisthenics are, go look it up. A lot of these guys do not touch drugs, and they are ridiculously strong. I mean, it's insane. You'd have to see some of the stuff they can do. All right. So GLIV, get the little tiny little drawing tool here. I will never understand what people's fascination is with trying to control other people. If somebody's not messing with you, just leave them the hell alone. You know what I mean? Some people got some weird tendencies out there in society, that's for sure. But yeah, so anyways, still in a bear trend. I'll tell you guys right now, the level I'm looking to get broken here, to get above, to get into a bull trend is right around here at $20. So as of right now, I would still say this is going to be 7 to 12 on the buy zone. We get above 20. It would theoretically also get above the EMAs and that structure level. That should be pretty much green lights at that point. $80 is going to be the target. All right, so 930% gain here. G-Link, same thing, W pattern. It's hard to say exactly where the start of this is. Maybe it's at that 92, so maybe you could say it's been filled already. I don't know. I'd say 60, right around 60 could be the potential buy area here. The targets are going to be 86 to 220. 240% gain here. GSOL. Yeah, I mean, this thing's massively oversold. It's probably not going to stay oversold, would be my guess. We're already starting to get some buyers down here. Okay, so buy zone here, 85 to 170. Targets are going to be all the way up here at 580 at the highs. Personally, I think GSOL is a lot more attractive at these prices than it ever was up here. I've told you guys this for eons, though it shouldn't come as a surprise. So 570% gain here. Wow, that's some pretty bullish price action. I'm sure Ethan's probably happy right now. Shout out to Ethan, by the way. So if there is a pullback, I'd be looking somewhere around 27 to 30, somewhere in there as a potential buy area. 51 to 70 as the targets here. 140% gain here. Meta, same thing, W pattern, triple bottom, very bullish. Either way, no matter how you want to look at it, it's bullish. I would say this one's a little tricky. I would say probably we want to get above the EMAs in this zone here first. Then once we get above kind of this area right here where this red candle is, this one, so right above $22. If we get a candle above that, I would say, and of course, we want to see the retest too. I would say that's pretty bullish at that point. So for now, I'd say the buy zone is going to be somewhere between 10 and the top of these EMAs, so 15. Targets going to be about 20 to 70. About a 585% gain. Zcash starting to look a little bit better. Nice little green candle, but again, this is basically just a big fat accumulation zone. Anything in between here is noise, in my opinion. It's just a zone to buy, and then when it breaks out, I mean, that's it. If you didn't get in, you missed out. So $8 to 10 and a quarter here for the targets. 220% gain. So the thing you guys got to understand about the markets is if you don't get the opportunity that you're looking for at the time that it presents itself and you let it pass you by, again, this is not financial advice, okay? There's no real reason to FOMO. There's always going to be another opportunity around the corner. Always. There is always opportunities in this markets, to the long side, to the short side, short term, long term. There's always something out there, that's in a better buying opportunity if you're a bull like we are, where you may want to buy. something else if one thing looks too expensive. Again, not financial advice, but I'm just telling you guys, been doing this for a long time, and it's even for me, it's hard to fight FOMO, but this is one of the things that makes me remind myself, like, oh yeah, you know what? Palantir, I'll show you guys an example. We don't own Palantir anymore, by the way. We got out. Palantir looks kind of expensive, right? It's yeah, that's a little pricey. Very overbought. So maybe if I was looking at stock that I could buy that was relatively cheap in comparison, that maybe could also give some options premiums. One that we would be looking to buy right now if we were not concentrated on crypto, if I can find it, I know it's somewhere in here, would be this one. Okay, Soxel, for example. This is the polar opposite of PLTR. This is why I say, again, just my opinion, there's no reason to FOMO, right? This is an ideal buying point. I would want to buy this, me personally, because the upside here just to get from zone to zone is a 90% gain, not including options premiums. Huge, right? All right, so the dividend ETFs, so we got the yieldmax ones, so YMAX 30 cents. These are weekly. These are, they're rotating on a weekly basis. They're not weekly, they're actually monthly. So YMAG 20 cents, TSLY $1.22. Crash here 37 cents, GUI 28 cents, YBIT $1.26, OARC 47 cents, Zomo 50 cents. You guys already know my position on the oil. As the atrocities overseas and all that come to an end, the oil prices will probably go down, which means anything oil related is probably going to become much cheaper in terms of dividend stocks and ETFs and all that. Okay, SNOY $1.70, TSMY 53 cents. Okay, so the Round Hill ETFs, we're on rdte. I'll start with this one. This one's probably going to be the biggest because, again, it's based on the Russell. The Russell has been absolutely insane lately. It's about that time of year or two for the Russell to really start kicking off. So 33 cents. These are weekly, by the way. They are not monthly. qdte, 22 cents. We do have this one. We do not have xdte anymore, but at some point when the gains start rolling in, we make 50, 100, 200,000, whatever it's going to be, we will eventually roll back into these. 18.5 cents here on xdte. They do have some new ones coming out. I don't remember exactly what they are. I'll have to go back and look. If you guys know anything about that, let me know. Okay, so the RecShares ETFs, these ones are pretty good paying. The price has also been pretty stable too. AIPI $1.51, the highest in history. This is an AI ETF. Just so you guys know, we are extremely, let me rephrase what I just said again, extremely bullish on AI going into the future. Okay. So yeah, we're probably going to own ultimately like 500 shares of this at least. Okay. So fepi, this is the non-AI version. So $1.09, relatively stable. Again, $1.10 to $1.20 over the course of time since inception is pretty good, if you ask me. Okay. So I hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.